Well, today is January 1st, 2017. I'd like to wish everybody a Happy New Year. Um, Today is also my 5-year Veganversary. I made it a custom over the past couple years to share a special poem I've done on my Veganversary. I'd like to do something a little different this time around. I would like to share my story of why I went vegan so people can sort of understand my thought process and, the logic that I found behind it. Because a lot of people do ask me, and I thought, this would be the easiest way to do it. It actually started 8 years ago, not 5 years ago. I was out walking at night, just sort of contemplating, my life at the moment, and I started thinking about my trips to the grocery store. I don't know why, it just sort of popped in there. And I started thinking about all the meat-free options that I see when I go to the grocery store. I walk down the freezer section, single guys usually when I do, just go to the freezer section, find something to pop in the microwave. But then I started thinking about, the meat-free options and how, no being dyed to create those products, and then I started thinking about the other products at the grocery store that I typically would buy and how those products were the result of a being dying. So then I started thinking, well, essentially I have a choice between life and death when I go to the grocery store. I mean, literally. I literally have a choice between, life on this side and death on this side. So I started thinking some more, and I started thinking that, humans have a chance. They have the opportunity to a full and happy life. It's great that we do. And then I started thinking about the animals and how they are robbed of that opportunity. They're robbed of that chance. They're bred to be murdered. And I started thinking, it's not really fair. Who are we to say who lives and who dies, who has a chance and who doesn't, who should have that opportunity and who doesn't. It shouldn't be our decision to make. It shouldn't be our choice. It shouldn't be anybody's decision. It shouldn't be anybody's choice. And, the thought made me pretty sad. When I started thinking about it, it didn't make any sense to me at all. And then, this might sound a little funny, but then I started thinking about horror movies. Particularly movies with anti-hero vampires. The vampire that goes to the blood bank and, gets his blood that way and is able to live and survive in that manner. And then you have the evil antagonist vampires who go out and murder people and, they don't care, they don't want blood from a blood bank. And I started thinking how that can translate into real life, into our situation, and it's sort of a art imitating life, I guess. Because we are given the chance of going to blood bank, getting these meat-free options or dairy-free options, egg-free options, but instead we choose to get products with dairy in it, with milk in it, meat in it. And I started thinking, well, that would make us the evil antagonist vampires. And that's not me at all. So I decided, what, I'm just gonna go vegetarian. So I gave myself a week to transition. So I went home and I started doing some research. It seemed like the only logical decision to make. Then I started researching online, and I came across, some slaughterhouse videos. And I saw what was going on in the slaughterhouses. I saw how these animals are not only, murdered for, these food products, but they're also tortured, and they live in these horrendous environments, and the people that run these places, they'll sit there and beat them with a smile on their face, and they'll mutilate their bodies while they're still alive, and they'll just kick them and beat them, and the video made me really nauseous, really made me really sick. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I broke down in tears. I was, that upset over, what I saw. I mean, I had made the decision out of logic without knowing what was going on. But then I found out what was going on, and then I couldn't wait any longer. I couldn't wait that week. I went vegetarian right then and there. And I went vegetarian because I actually never heard of veganism before. I never have. So, that one week turned into one day. So then I was vegetarian, and I was vegetarian for 3 years. And over the span of that 3 years, I slowly started hearing about veganism. I didn't know what it was at first. I thought it was just another word for vegetarian. I wasn't, that was my translation. But then I slowly, I would meet other vegans, find out a little bit more, and then I would find out that it actually is different, and, open up my eyes even more. So on, January 1st, January 1st, 2014, I went vegan. And it's best decision I've ever made, really. I mean, and, I just wish I would have done it sooner, but, I didn't know. Nobody knows these things. It's embedded in society. Society tells us it's okay. Tradition tells us it's okay, but it's not. It's not okay. There comes a time in life when we need to, break our traditions, when we need to look at things that society says is okay and question them. We should always question. We should never stop questioning. And being vegan isn't a diet. It's a social justice movement for animals. Because animals are oppressed, and, they're beaten, they're tortured, they're murdered. It's literally genocide of an entire species. And, it's really upsetting. And it's not about health, and, it's not about the environment, but those are, positive attributes that do come with being vegan, eating vegan food. But it's also about, justice. It's about equality. It's not about saying, somebody is better than another person, or, we're better than people who aren't vegan. It's about equality. It's about justice. And I hope a lot of people watch this, and they kind of understand what I'm talking about, where I'm coming from. Because even like thinking about it, talking about it's upsetting. When you think about what these beings go through, and they don't have to. We are in a unique position, that no other being on this planet has. We can make food that doesn't require the death of innocent beings. We're not some predators in the wild, trying to feed our pride. We're not even, a herbivorous animal who's, gnawing on leaves. We can actually make, complicated, incredible dishes, without other beings dying. And it's really rewarding, and and it feels good to, have your eyes open. Well, I mean, that's my story. I thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed my story, and I hope you have a great 2017, and I'll be back with another poem.